So welcome everyone. Welcome to TiE University in Israel. This is the third year in a row that we conduct this competition. And I'm really happy because this year we had 16 groups registered. We had the semifinals last week and 8 groups which are with us today made it to the finals. And as we say, everything is open. You are starting from scratch with a new set of judges, and each of you can succeed, and it's really up to you. We have with us today 4 judges. We tried to bring it an international flavor, so we have 2 friends of mine joining us. Mrs. Darty Desai from New York. Say hi, Darty. You can open your mic also.
Hi, Anat, and hi, everyone. So happy to be here. Thank you for the honor.
Darty is the president of TiE New York, the TiE chapter in New York. So if you want to enter the American market, then it's good that Darty is now listening to your pitch, and who knows. And on the other continent, all the way to Bombay, we have with us Mr. Srijit Mishra. He would laugh that I'm calling him Mr. That's only his wife can call him like that. Srijit is the Chief Innovation Officer and another long title in the Aditya Birla Group, which is one of the largest conglomerates in India. And he is listening here as a judge, but also as the Chief of Innovation. And if something he likes, he will be happy to take a second look and see if it fits his group. So again, this is opportunity going to the Indian side. We have 2 judges in Israel. We have Ilan Ben David, co-founder and CTO of Chakratech, or since yesterday, I think, or the day before, it's called Zuz, a company which is in the EV space. And if any of you have interest in the electric vehicle, then I suggest that you talk to Ilan, one of the leading technologists in this space. The judge that is making trouble, and I'll take points from his scoring, is Benjamin Grossman. Mr. Grossman is the head of the India practice in Amit Polak Matalon law firm, an India specialist, but he doesn't know how to log into the Zoom. So that's a problem. And of course, we have Efrat that is now trying to get Benjamin on the online. Efrat is the organizers of the TiE competition in Israel, executive director, and I don't need to further introduce you to Efrat. So I think I didn't present myself, but all of you know me from the semifinals, so I think I'll skip my introduction. We need to wait for Benny, that's a challenge. Efrat, you're mute. Hey, Efrat? You're mute.
Yeah, I just called Benny, and hopefully he'll connect in a few minutes. I just want to take this opportunity to also thank you all for all the teams that for your hard work, for your effort, and everything that you've put into this competition. And let the games begin, and we'll wish you good luck.
Thank you, Efrat. I need to mention Gordon Grant. Gordon with us is all the way from Atlanta, and he is behind the scene managing the scoring system and making sure that the judges are working on time and don't do mistakes, and he will know the first one who will make it to the finals. So Gordon, thanks for supporting us. In parallel to us, there is another competition happening in TiE Germany at the same time. So let's see, it's like basketball. Let's see who are the finalists from Germany and Israel today. We have here teams from 5 universities, from Holon Institute of Technology, from Reichman University, from the academic of Tel Aviv-Yafo, from Ben-Gurion University, and from Tel Aviv University. And so we have representation from north to south. And I think that I can start. Mr. Grossman is here. Nice of you.
Yes. Thanks. Welcome.
Now let's understand the process. We're going to start with the group called Minerva. Each group will have 8 minutes each and additional 3 minutes to answer the judges. And after that, we'll get each judge 1 minute to score. So judges, please open the scoring link so that it will be in front of you, because you'll have really 1 minute to do 1 to 10. 10 is a good number. 1, I think that no one gets it. I think that any questions? Okay, now another question to all of you. The groups that talk, please open your cameras. The groups that don't participate, please turn off your cameras and your mics so that the judges will only see the people that participate in this part. So we will start with Tal. Tal, you're here.
Hey, how are you? Thank you.
And Tal, who else is with you today?
My partner here, Ido, and dear friend. Say hello.
Hello.
Good. So
I'm here.
1 sec, we will start.
Hi, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to tell you what we're doing here in Minerva. Our goal is to bring the new generation of training.
Anat, I think the pitch isn't previewed.
We can't see the picture, we're just hearing the voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And now?
No, still we just see the.
Thank you all for being here.
No, we still see only the bar from the web.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I
Stop
think you.
sharing and share again, Anat. Stop sharing and share again.
Yeah. Okay. Now can you see?
Excited to tell you what we're doing here in Minerva. Our goal is to bring the new generation of training through.
No, you're not showing.
No, still
No.
no.
Well,
Okay. And now?
Yes,
it's okay.
thank you.
Everybody, thank you all for being here. I'm excited to tell you what we're doing here in Minerva. Our goal is to bring the new generation of training through VR technologies. So my name is Tal. I'm a flight instructor and ex-deputy squadron commander. Ido and I are the co-founder of Minerva. We both have a vast in training and instructing. Ido is a game developer and was also an instructor at the Medical Emergency Service here in Israel. Our challenge is to overcome the limitation of traditional training. Let's review some examples. For executing mass casualty training, we need to coordinate a lot of manpower and gear, yet the simulation is still incomplete due to the lack of simulated injuries and real-time pressure. Hence, our emergency service trains once a year at best. For firefighter training, we need to buy a car, burn it, and train our people while risking their lives. In 2017, there were more than 8,000 firefighters injured during training activity, and this is only in the United States. Another example is nurse training. It requires to take a qualified nurse in a surgery room in order to perform a training session. Other training methods, reduced dose, for example, aren't interactive and have a fixed scenarios. And nurse training can go up to 3 years from qualification, and we believe it can be much shorter. These examples are from our own experience training our people in the Army. In aviation standards, those numbers are unacceptable. So I ask you, why should we accept it? Some more examples are the heavy tool training, where every mistake is an irreversible mistake. And it is even expressed in qualification tests that ask you, what would you do if, instead of testing how you actually are? So we see traditional training limited and inefficient with mediocre results. This makes our people underqualified and endangered due to the absence of practical training. And today, there is no viable solution for this problem. Our solution is to create a software that gives organizations a platform to create and manage trainee-centered simulations. So why now? We learned from the COVID on the advantage of remote learning. In addition, the next generation of workers are surrounded by technology and they need to understand fast. So we should adapt our training method to their pace. Wearable technology is a big trend, from earphones to smartwatches and smart glasses. And this trend will help us become more accessible. And last, the low cost and the performance of the technology. It is ready. We just need to know what to do with it. Our product is a VR training simulator with customized scenarios and a learning management system. The trainee will learn by doing and will enjoy immediate results, while the LMS will help keep track on the training progression. Our two first use cases are nurse training in Sheba Hospital and mass casualty training for emergency health service. This will give us the infrastructure to go to stage 2, the do-it-yourself platform. The do-it-yourself platform is crucial to make it scalable for reaching all training types. It is a platform to create independent training simulation by anyone. It will have 3 main features: pre-made virtual rooms, a 3D library that contains virtual tools and selection of computer-based players, and a toolkit to create instructor interface. So virtual training and simulation market is $204 billion industry. And within that, only in the VR healthcare market is 204 millions and growing with a 33% ARR year over year. We are projecting to capture at least 0.17% to create 1 billion ARR year over year. And this is how we plan to get there. In the first year, we'll create training simulation for our local public organization while focusing on healthcare market. We're projecting to reach a revenue of 400K by doing 2 projects per organization. Next, we will use the DIY software to create training instruction for healthcare and emergency organization in the United States. We're projecting to reach a revenue of $3 million from selling instructions and licenses. Our next step is to publish the DIY software and suggest a platform to sell other instructions, courses like Udemy and Coursera business model. Here we are projecting to reach a revenue of $250 million. So this is what the competitive market looks like. All of those companies are making a great simulation instructions, but they lack a few components that can create a difference and make the product scalable. Most of those companies are gaming companies that lack the instruction experience, and none of them provide an LMS system. Furthermore, they provide a frontal training, which requires the customer to coordinate with a company representative in order to use the system. But most important, there are no self-creation tools, and this creates dependency on the company from day one. I'm proud to introduce our great team. Nir as a mentor, Saki as our computer science developer, Shachar, our UX UI designer, and Ben, our strategic consultant. So now you know what we are building and why we are building it. We are going to change the way people think on training and acquiring skills. We have the team, there is a pain, we have the solution, and we have a great product coming up. So if you would like to take part on this training revolution, contact us. And thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you. And let's start with which judge would like to start.
I have a question. Tal, you described 3 stages of the company: service company, then a technology company, and then a marketplace. I think you should start with one and focus on it.
That's what we're doing. Right now, we're focusing on providing the product to the healthcare industry. Yeah.
So I would suggest you are a service provider, maybe developing some necessary technology component that you need to the healthcare industry. Okay, marketplace could be interesting maybe, but
Yeah.
Your way doesn't lead to there.
All right, that's the vision. The vision is to be in any training type. So we don't want to stuck in one subject. That's why this is the plan.
Our main stage is going to be the second stage, the DIY platform. But we need to start somewhere. We need to start first by making by our own the scenario and give it to the organizations to prove the concept, to prove the technology. We need to make people know this technology before we can publish our software. So this is the stages that we start.
So you are a technology developer with the first use case in healthcare.
That's correct.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah, so just to kind of supplement what you heard Lan ask just now, integrating into the business ecosystems, there is a set of competition that exists because there are customers who they have. You don't have the customers. You have perhaps the understanding and the technology and the understanding of the area which is better. How will you sell the solution if you don't have a required sales force on ground? How do you think you'll do that? Over.
So if I understand correctly, you ask how will we sell if we don't have what?
So you have a solution, you have an understanding of the need of the consumer better. I understand that. How are you going to sell it on ground? Like Lan was just saying, you could actually partner with and provide technology to the existing companies. That would be one way. The other way could be, having your own sales force. How do you intend going in the beginning?
So right now we're doing a pilot with a hospital to shorten the nurse training length, and we develop parallel the DIY software. So in order so we can develop more training materials in the system, and we stop being a studio. So that's the plan.
I want to add to Mr. Mishra's comment. You are penetrating an area which is already, there are many players already there. For example, robotics, I think the name is Galileo. Lots of equipment providers, some of them are huge, really, really huge. You have to see how your added value piece, I don't know how to call it, how it goes together, because otherwise they will smash you.
Yeah, uniqueness, yeah.
And a second thing, which they already overcame and you have not, is the regulation. If you mistrain a nurse, you're exposing the whole institute and yourself to lots of lawsuits. So it's a quite regulated arena. I think this is something you have to pay attention to.
So if I could answer this, Anat, and
yep.
So it's correct. Everything is correct. The instruction will be signed professionally, not by us. So that's why we have a design partner. It's currently going to be Sheba Hospital. So that liability is not on us, only the concept of how to train and the technology, of course, that we make it accessible. I hope that's answered the question.
Thank you.
Partially, yes.
Darty, you have a question to this group before we go on?
Yes, I do. I have a comment and then just a quick feedback. Tal and team, great job. I think you've identified a great pain point, which is a universal pain point. I'm just going to echo what the other judges have said. The fact that you're focusing on a particular niche is a great idea. So go ahead and develop that validation with the nurse training. Once you have a POC, your job becomes a lot easier. Doesn't matter what competition is out there. If you're able to establish a differentiator, a uniqueness with your software, go for it. So just focus on that, and I think you'll see great things for an outcome.
This is
thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you. Good luck, Tal and Ido. We are moving to the next group. The next group is called Vision R. And the group is headed by Einav Mimram. This group is from the Reichman University. Einav, show your face. Einav, I can't hear you.
Waiting.
I'm here from Michael. Do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Loud and clear.
Yes, so the whole team, you can watch us on the video. It's 5 of us, myself, Michael, Shira, and Shiraz, and we're here all together in the same room, but so this is why I joined Michael's internet. And
Anat,
sorry,
just 1 second. Anat, you want the judges to finish scoring the previous pitch, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes, we're waiting for the judges to score the first pitch. True. Hey, Gordon, would you be able to tell us once?
I'm not, I think, to ask us to say twice that we are sure that we are whom you think we are. I think it's
you are late, and you are late, and you are able to tell me that?
I'm late and old. And if it's going to be not the same, it's going to be embarrassing.
ענת, רק אם את זזה עם העכבר, זה מעלה את הנגן. אז סתם בשביל שרפרזנטציות יהיו בלי החלק הזה, כן.
סבבה.
אני לא רואה כלום.
Okay, Shrijit, you're done?
I've done as well.
Yes, I'm done, long back.
Okay, good. So we are now with the group from Reichman, Vision R.
Meet Sophie. Sophie is only 3 years old, and yet she has to wear a bandage 12 hours a day in order to treat her lazy eye. And Sophie isn't alone. 3% of US children population are suffering from lazy eye. So what exactly is lazy eye? Lazy eye, or in its scientific name, amblyopia, is a condition where there is a visual impairment in one of the eyes, which causes a circle where the brain relies more on the stronger eye, which causes the ignoration of the weaker eye and only worsen the condition to the extent of even one eye blindness. So what's the problem? There has been no change in the treatment of lazy eye over the past few decades, and children that are suffering from amblyopia are required to wear a bandage on the strong eye for around 12 hours a day throughout their daily lives. Among other things, this causes an overall long treatment, passive monitoring around the clock wearing the bandage, and problems with the child cooperation, uncomfortable wearing the bandage, doesn't like his appearance, and more. The training of the lazy eye can be done while providing immediate feedback to the doctor about the progress of the treatment, reducing daily treatment time, and using a method that integrates into the everyday lives of the children and increases engagement. Our product is a VR gaming platform for treating lazy eyes. After consulting an eye doctor, user will be able to select a game from the list, and according to the doctor's prescription, their lazy eye will be blurred during the game, based on the level the doctor prescribed. After every game, the attending doctor would know how much improvement there has been because of the real-time feedback and would know how to improve the child's care going forward. VR glasses can be taken anywhere and can be used at any time, which makes it easier for the patients and improves adherence. In our demo, we are going to focus on 3 aspects. The first is training the weaker eye with near and distant objects. The second is by blurring the stronger eye and forcing the lazy eye to take action. And the third is showing different exposed images to the weaker eye.
Our target market is the ophthalmology market in the world, estimated in $43.3 billion. Then the available market we're targeting is the total number of people who are diagnosed with lazy eye in the US. And last, we will start off with people diagnosed with lazy eye here in Israel. We plan to penetrate the American market in 2 axes. The first, through the direct work with optometrists and HMOs, and at the same time, through marketing to big corporations that offer health insurance to their employees and consist a significant market share. Finally, in the future, when VR glasses will be more widespread, we will sell our app directly to consumers through the VR App Store. We offer value to both the HMOs and the end patient. As for the patients, we are shortening each local eye training session and the total period of using treatment for lazy eye. In addition, we are creating a fun and easy-to-use environment for kids to train. As for the HMOs, we will help save money by freeing the doctors for more urgent and physical required cases. We have already won $10,000 in a school competition, and we used it for acquisition of 5 VR sets and the use of Amazon Web Services. With $50,000 worth of funds, we're planning on building 5 different environments of VR environments and have a functional QA department. Competition-wise, we can map our competition in 2 main axes: active engagement for our users versus the use of data collection and machine learning. Our biggest competitor is a company named Luminopia, the only company with an FDA approval to treat lazy eye using VR glasses, and raised $12 million in a seed round. My name is Einab, and our team consists of Michael, Shira, and Shiraz. We're all students of computer science and entrepreneurship at Reichman University. And in addition to our passion in technology, we're also interested in the world of entrepreneurship, and in particular, its intersections with the medical field. We are already after an in-depth research in the field, and with the money raised, we plan to embark a clinical study in which we will further test the feasibility of our application. Thank you.
Thank you. And
I shall start.
yes, but I have a remark to the judges. I'm reminding this is a competition, not a mentorship session. So I'd like you to ask questions rather than
Okay.
The mentorship will be less and the asking will be more.
Thank you for mentoring the judges. There is a chicken and egg equation here, because in order to penetrate, if you want to do it on your own, you need somehow to manage the regulation of medical devices, which is a huge budget for you. So my question is, what is going to initial steps? If you tell me that you want to raise the money now for that, it's a good question. But this is something they're missing. How you do the next step? Because I think you quite materialized what you can do on your own so far. It's a big money game, what you are going into.
Basically, we want to follow Luminopia's footsteps in the FDA approval they received, because getting the first FDA approval is the hardest test. And after a company already achieved that, we can just mimic their test and what they have done. Obviously, it requires funds, but
do you have some budget assessment of the same? Because you still have to run your test as well. You cannot just copy paste from them.
Yeah, our first step that we want to take is to first build the platform, and in the meantime, go to clinical trials. And if the clinical trials will be successful enough, we'll go to raise money and then to get the FDA approval. That's the plan for the future.
How you finance the medical trials? That's my question, actually.
We would just offer our services for private optometrists that want to take action in the experiment. We already contact some of them that want to proceed to clinical trials with us. And it's a win-win situation, because if the clinical trials succeed, they get our services. And if it doesn't succeed, so they haven't lost too much except trying a new cool game on VR platform with some of their patients. So it's really a win-win situation.
How long the user should use the VR goggles every day?
So right now we are concentrating on 2 hours. This is the research, the current research that we have, but we're planning to see it in the clinical trial and see if there's a way to load to make it less
shorter.
Yeah.
So you need to walk with those to be disconnected from the world for 2 hours a day.
Yes.
As for now, yes, but wearing a bandage right now is 12 hours a day, the alternative.
No, but you are functioning normally all the day.
Yeah.
You don't see, you see only with one eye, but you can move, you can do things. Okay, I understand.
Yes. And we're also planning on the thing that kids are already on their phones and will probably go to use the VR sets. So if they can use it to, I'm sorry that you can't really see me, but if you can use it in order to train your lazy eye, it's going to be a better situation for the kid because he's already playing.
Yes, but the question, how many hours a day you like your kid to play? Actually, that was Ilan's question. It's not as
Benny Shrigit was starting to ask a question.
Oh, sorry.
No. I was just saying
now
that
the Israeli judges, please allow the international judges also to ask questions.
No, it's okay. I think the thing that is there at the back of my mind is, as you look at your revenue projections, I think you will go through doctors first, correct?
Yeah.
How have you projected that? And what is in it for the doctors? And why should they actually recommend you? Question number 1. Question number 2, what is your dependency on the VR player? Are you totally dependent on it? Or would you also look at being independent at some stage? Over.
So the first question about the doctors is what they get from it. So we want to save expensive doctor time by just the doctor will be prescribe the playtime and set the games, and then he don't have to monitor the kid while he's playing. So actually the time the doctor has to work with the kid is relatively very short because it's only testing him and then setting the game, and the kid can continue on his own because of the data collection and all of the improvement.
So therefore the doctor's revenue will reduce because he'll spend less time with the kid.
No, the money that the doctor receives per the meeting is the same, just he's open to, because let's say there's a 1 hour meeting with the doctor. On the time the kid is playing, the kid will play for the time spending on the doctor's office. But on the meantime, the doctor can work on other cases, and that's and also once the platform will begin to be popular, I think that the doctors will receive more patients because their technology advanced compared to their competitors, and the kids and the parents would like to go to the best ones. And if it will also shorten the treatment and improve the results. So that's what we're counting on. And can you repeat the second question, please?
It was about your dependency on VR. Are you going to be dependent on VR, or how do you perceive it in the future?
Yeah, we want to be dependent on the VR because we believe that, especially in the eye field, the difference between 3 dimensions and 2 dimensions, let's say with work with tablets or other competitors that to do things differently, the control level that you can achieve on features that the eye depends on is much more strong, and you can get better results.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Anat.
Last question.
Anat, I'm going to request a minute here, only because this is something that's very close to my heart. I have grown up with an eye condition. And so my question to the team is, it is very hard, and I know the judges touched upon this, it's very hard to have a kid engage for 2 hours on a hardware tool. I understand the game component, and I understand this generation is very used to that. What is the age that you are targeting? And I'm thinking this is more a direct-to-consumer play, not so much doctor-to-consumer. Yes. What is the ideal age for the child to be treating this from a medical standpoint, from a technical standpoint? I wish I had this when I was, little. It's too late now, but I did do other methods of training where I conditioned my weaker eye to, compensate. Because like you rightly pointed out, the stronger eye tends to overcompensate.
Yes, so the thing is that we know that kids at the age of 4 to 7 usually get the condition of lazy eye and have this assessment. So this is our target market. And as for playing the games for 2 hours a day for the kid, it's not only about the compliance that we have, that the kid will much more enjoy playing a game. It's more about them not going to school to kindergarten with a bandage. And we know that a lot of kids don't want to use this method. So this is why we aim for them to play more, something that they already do. And in the meantime that they're playing, to have the treatment, rather than going around and going to kindergarten 12 hours a day with a bandage, something that is not much nice socially. So yes,
the vanity play also. Yeah, thank you. I would definitely think about direct to consumer.
Mm-hmm. We're planning on direct to consumer later on, when the VR will be way more spread, like something in like 10 years. But because we don't want to lose these years now, we're targeting first the optometrists and the CMOs.
Thank you, Einav and your team. Judges, please score this group. And the next group from AJT, Lib Labs, Noya Liao, please get ready.
No problem.
Open your cameras, the entire group.
It's me.
Ilan, you're done?
Yeah, I'm done. We are stuck. Lib Labs are.
No, I just, Darty, you're done?
Yes, I am. I am at a disadvantage. I'm the last judge to go, and I'm giving a lot of feedback because I want to make sure the feedback column is of value to them, because I know it goes to the participants. So thank you, Anat. I'm done.
Good. So we're starting now, Lib Labs.
Hi, everyone, and thank you very much for this great opportunity. My name is Noya Liao. I'm a designer and the founder of Lib Labs, an innovative therapeutic communication tool to help children with speech and emotional difficulties. And as you will see, we're heading towards something extraordinary. You can find a great team, me, of course, as the founder and the product designer, Aviv by my side as a co-founder and the CTO, Naama Lilach, which is a child development psychologist and in our advisory board, Ifat Zelevich, she's a venture mentor and a UX UI designer. Doran Arti is an illustrator and a brand designer, and our 2 Unity developers, Alona Drozdov and Alon Mendel. The idea for my venture has first came up when I saw my little nephew just grabbing a book from the shelf, sitting on his father's laps, opening a random page, and even though he knew the whole story by heart, nothing stopped him from making up a whole new story from the picture. And then it hit me. At these ages, the imagination is infinite. The curiosity is at its peak. They collect tools and learn how to express themselves and shape their unique characters and personalities. The problem is, however, that neither the most magical books nor the most educational TV shows do not encourage these important foundations. To imagine, to express themselves and develop their own personal words and minds, the challenge is even greater for children with any kind of communication difficulty. To collect this kind of tools is nearly impossible. Did you know that more than 22% of kids under age 6 all over the world are having any kind of communication or emotional difficulties, or probably both? And 2 long years of global pandemic has not helped to the situation and caused a significant gap in children development compared to previous years. Children had lost an essential time alongside their educational frameworks and alongside children in their age groups. Clinicians and studies indicate that along the corona, the number of children referred to therapy has highly increased. A child's ability to understand and use speech is vital for their development. And if they won't develop the skills needed to interact with the environment, it can have a lasting and profound impact on their adulthood. LibLabs is an iPad or tablet app for children ages 3 to 6 to use together with their therapist, either for speech or emotional care. By creating stories in special methods, we encourage self-expressive abilities and allow a communication channel with a therapist, which is more and more difficult with time to gain today with old school tools and games. Every therapist has more than several different children in care, so each has to have their own profile and work area. The therapist can easily customize and adjust different settings for every child need individually and keep track on their progress. The first step of engagement is to build their own character. It is important because it's the key in the process and might affect how comfortable, now cooperative they're going to feel in the next sessions to come. The characters are currently built from animals as one of the first things children in early ages learn and characterize. But we're aiming for an imagination trigger. Therefore, they can mix their animal, change their hats, put some elements, and every child can create his own personal special creature. This special creature will join and travel with them to every adventure and story to be made. They give it a name, they give it a sound, and all of these elements are in fact a basis of communication that allows the child to make a projection of his feelings and sensations on the character he's just created to communicate in much more easily through it. When we start a session, we can choose whether to create a new story or to listen to a story in a library that we have already created. Each story is an adventure. First, the child chooses what kind of world he wants to travel this time. It can be under the sea or the wild jungle or even outer space. First and very important feature is dubbing characters. The child and the therapist can give voices to different characters, allow the child to project on his characters and express what he sees in different situations. The therapist can approach to him through another character's voice. Text is another very important feature. It can be customized to different level, either to be fully written story with narrative and dubbing the characters through guidance, or either to take the text off completely and to use the visuals only to create a whole new story. Finally, by the end of the story, as a story, they can make a book cover for the story they just created, share it with a parent to be involved in the process, or just keep it in the library. Our 3 main approaches and therapy methods. The first one is a key character. We understand the importance of a guide to be there for the child, to strengthen him and to help him through this process. The second one is projection. A very non-therapeutic tool helps the child to communicate more easily through an outside character. The third tool is biofeedback, useful mostly in speech therapy. The child can record and listen to himself and to be able to recognize when he wasn't clear and decides to correct himself. Until recently, there was a lack in a digital therapeutic product market for kids. However, in the last 2 years, due to Corona, the awareness and the need has grown. Today, there are several products and the market keeps growing. The market is divided into 2 different categories we see ourselves as part in. The first and the main one is the digital therapeutic tools. Some of them are used in therapy sessions and some of them built by therapists and even diagnostic. But the main idea is that each one of them serves only one purpose and need and cannot be adjusted and customized even to support several methods in the same time for different children. The second one is digital games and ebooks for kids. We had to check this market because we wanted to keep our children engaged and cooperative. Most of this content, however, were educational oriented or simply fun. As for our go-to market, first step, we start in Israel as a pilot for the first 1 year. During this year, we will be working with private or public therapists. And the second step following in Israel would be finding a design partner, such as HMO or insurance companies or big education institution. This phase purpose is to accurate our product to learn our users, both the therapists and the children, and to optimize the therapy session. During this time, we also will be learning the American market. Phase 2 will be penetrating to the American market through our Israeli design partner, to its co-organization in the US. We're sticking to the B2B in this stage. For our following steps will be from clinics to homes. Parents will be able to practice with their child at home while the therapist can still be a guide in the process. The final step is B2C, directly to the customer, the parent, after basing our product with our gatekeepers. Professional Lib Labs will be marketed as a magical, enriching story time, encouraging the child's self-expressive and imaginative abilities from a young age, and encourage vital communication with the parent. Our market analysis-wise, for the first pilot phase in Israel, there are dozens of thousands of speech, emotional, developmental therapists to use as our adopters in the first testing, and more than 300,000 of kids are using any kind of communication therapy in Israel. For the phase in America, there are thousands of millions therapists for kids, and around the 8 million children are referring to any kind of therapy today in America. For the B2B phase in America, parents and family cells that are around the 30.7 million children in these ages in the US and North America. By checking the average number of clients to every therapist, it has really changed between private and big clinics. We are counting by our end users because they are eventually having the profile and the database. And every therapist can buy a subscription by the number of clients he has monthly or yearly. Clinicians that have tried this first version of this product indicate that this kind of product can really save an essential time in therapy session, and it combines some of their most favorite tools in one device. They all agree that it becomes harder and harder to grab children's attention now. The corona created a significant gap that must be narrowed down, but has also brought with it an opportunity, a recognition to the technology world. We live in a digital age. We must use it to our advantage, especially now. The technology is accessible in almost every household, and it becomes more and more accessible in educational institutions and therapeutic institutions. I hope that my product will make an impact and help to shape our next generation. Thank you very much for listening, and please join.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had to stop you. Your presentation is 1 minute longer, so I'm going to deduct 30 seconds from your Q&A. So, Darti, Srijit, before...
Yeah, happy to jump in. Thank you, Anat. I just have one question. If you're charging the therapist, this therapist is taking it from their fees from the consumer, and what is your margin with the cost that you laid out?
Sorry again, your questions. We're first starting with a therapist as a yearly or monthly subscription, but I didn't really hear your question.
So the therapist is paying Bib Labs, correct?
Mm-hmm. True.
And so it comes from their fees that they're charging to the consumer.
True.
Yes, so they will lose. So that's your first, will they be willing to do that? Yes.
The subscription is for every, we checked, first of all, how much clients for each therapist there is in average, and how much every therapist earn for how many hours. And we just made a calculation of how much will he earn and how much will we earn. And eventually, because we are optimizing a session and help the child and the therapist to open faster the communication channel, it really helps the therapist to earn and gain the name of the therapist itself. And actually, the therapist market is really it's with competition. So every one of them needs to show that they have new tools to work with, the best tools to work with. And the fact that the therapist can also share this product with the parent eventually, what they made together, the parents can rely and trust the therapist and see what they're doing during the session. So I think until now, what I say, they willing to pay this fee, yes.
And so have you done an analysis of what it's going to cost you to acquire your customer, your CAC? So, how much is it going to cost you to acquire a therapist, and what kind of margins will you be left with?
Because right now we're still in the MVP and product marketing and checking the market in Israel. It's a bit different, but we're heading to the market in the US first. Here, we're first working with privates or publics. So once we're getting into HMO, thing like this, it will be a bit different. I can't tell you exactly what our margin will be in the end of it right now, because we're still learning the market itself. But we know the average of Switzerland, yes.
I have a feeling that let's say how the end user, which is the 3 to 6 year old child, will accept this thing is the main factor. Did you do some studies about this? Do you see that they really like to play? They follow the plan, they choose the character, they do the thing? At least my grandchild, he takes the iPad and throws it.
True.
So have you tested this?
Yes, we're still testing actually, because it's version after version, but we did prototypes and we're still working on better features, because we're still working with psychologists and speech therapists are still trying to optimize the features for the therapist and the features for the child and see how they're working with it. Right now, also a psychologist is the professionals are writing the content itself and the stories to make the child feel obligated and involve him in the process. This is why also we're having this animal of his, this creature, so we feel connected with it. And the idea behind it is to work in a session. In one session, you can work each time to create a new story, and the child can express and do it everything by itself and connect to it. It's not like another the tools that they have now that they're a bit trying to engage with it, right? The new tech word, let's say.
We have still time for a short question, Benny or Srijit, if you have something.
So just a quick one. If you're doing standardization for a therapist, how do you think the therapist is going to accept it? Point number one. Point number two, data privacy issues. As we're expecting therapists to share confidential data, how are you going to deal with that? Over.
What is the first question? I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand.
The first question is that by doing what you have done, you're standardizing the approach for a therapist to use. Each therapist has his or her own approach to a depending upon the kind of patient that he or she has. By doing standardization, do you think the therapist will accept it? Or do you think you can find a way of modulating it?
Okay, so if I understood correctly your question, I'll answer it in a wider answer, so it will answer your question itself. So first, the therapist is necessary in the process. He's leading the child. Even we have this interface, we have a platform that the therapist can still control, still guide the child by himself. Okay, he still can give his own perspective and understanding into the child's session with the interface. He's not doing it by himself at all. And to each child, to each taken care of, there's a whole, he has his own profile. So every therapist can customize the features, the right features for the same therapy. I'm not sure, did I answer your question in this point?
What Mr. Sharma says that actually you're gonna teach in all dog many new tricks. It's not that easy
Well,
as you
we're
think.
trying it. We're now with, well, the generation
As
is
most
a
of us
new
are
generation,
already
and we
old
need
dogs,
to
it's not
customize
that easy as
ourselves.
you think.
Guys, we have to move to the next group. Thank you, Noi, and thanks
Very much.
your Lib Labs.
Thank you very much.
And we are now moving to the next group, and the next group is from the
Anat, just hold on. Can we just complete a scoring, please? Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm just telling the group of S2S Decrypto, get ready, turn on your videos, please.
Enough is tough today.
I'm very tough.
It was like that also in the semifinals.
Yes.
Thank God I was chosen for the finals. Next. Is S2S the crypto?
No, now we are in, you are scoring Lib Labs.
That's already done. Who's the next?
So wait, Darty, you're done?
Long ago, Anat.
Okay, so if Darty is done. Okay, good. So I welcome now a group from the Academic Tel Aviv Yafo, along with a group from Ben Gurion University. They merged into S2S Decrypto, headed by Dor Shireto and Nadav Porat. Say hi, guys.
Hi. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I will present us. With us here is our team.
I can't see your cameras on. Is it?
My camera.
See me? I'm here.
Okay.
I mean, I can see myself. The camera is on.
That's good.
Cool. So with us here today is Lior, Tomer, Nadav, and Nir. We will start with this recorded speech, and we would love to answer any question followed. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. Today we'll introduce the DAO S2S Decrypto project. Our team is built from 7 developers led by Mr. Zevin Ofer. We'll cover the project background, the technical idea, and project uniqueness, and we will see a short demonstration of the system prototype built so far. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. In a DAO, the community is responsible for voting on changes and proposing new ideas to keep the DAO up and running as well as improve. All the laws are written on the blockchain and the users votes for them. The students in Israel deal with many problems related to their academic studies. A research made by Israel Students Association shows that there was a 27% increase in student loans taken from the previous year, 24% considering deferring or even retiring from academic studies. 46% of the students in Israel require financial assistance from their parents. As the research says, almost every student is worried about his financial future. The situation in the United States is not much different. More than half of the students need to take out student loans to finance their studies, and the average loan balance is $30,000. The COVID-19 crisis is not making the situation any better. Students have difficulties combining work and school, and we see our system as a big help to those students. Our solution includes a web marketplace for students to buy and sell goods and to pay with a new cryptocurrency we developed, especially for this project called S2S, like students to students. We want to create a marketplace that will combine students' interests, a marketplace with the full transparency of its owner's revenue, and to give an equal opportunity to all of the students regardless of their credit score. Students can easily become sellers on our system. In that way, they can sell stuff they made or services they offer and be paid with a cryptocurrency which doesn't need to be taxed, as if they keep it as a cryptocurrency. Later, the cryptocurrency can be used to buy other goods from sellers in the marketplace.
The idea to become a reality, we have created a unique cryptocurrency for our project. The users will pay with it for transactions they will make on our web platform. The marketplace is based on React.js framework, is fully accessible for every device that can run Google Chrome browser. The students can trade goods, and the transactions is based on smart contracts developed over Solidity programming language. Those contracts will provide transparency in transactions by being written through a blockchain net. Our uniqueness is by creating the first student social marketplace based on a blockchain technology. With this technology, based on the idea of Web3, the users will have the opportunity to gain revenue from the cryptocurrency as any other assets and its potential demand. In terms of scam preventing, blockchain transactions are irreversible, which means that the buyer cannot ask the credit card company to cancel transactions after they happened and to scam the seller in this way. We cut out the middleman of the transaction chain, and the seller will enjoy a lower fee. In addition to that, our project will offer one-of-a-kind, student-oriented crypto portfolio management advisor as an embedded service in our system, which will allow users to learn how to invest their assets.
One of the platform main embedded services is the Decrypto platform, which is a crypto robo-advisor, easy-to-use portfolio management tool. By asking questions about your financial situation and future goals to an online survey, it uses AI to offer advice and automatically invest for you in the cryptocurrency world. One of the platform main embedded services is the Decrypto platform, which is a crypto robo-advisor, easy-to-use portfolio management tool. By asking questions about your financial education and future goals to an online survey, it can then use the AI to offer advice and automatically invest for you in the cryptocurrency world. As students, we recognize the problems students encounter when trying to invest in the cryptocurrencies market. Budget limitation and financial knowledge are the main barriers standing between young generation who is eager to invest in cryptocurrency to do so. With machine learning at its core, Decrypto offers diversified basket curated and managed by our leading edge technology that covers spectrum of available digital assets. It's crypto on autopilot, automatically rebalancing baskets and shifting the currencies that our sophisticated algorithms recommended. The Decrypto platform is currently under pilot at the Academic College of Tel Aviv-Yafo, and it will enter beta phase in next month. This is the platform's web service demo.
In our monetization, there are two main methods. Our system collects 3% of the transactions value as a fee, when 2% of the collected fees from the transactions will be used as an income for the company. The second way is being a publisher of advertisements like pop-ups and banner ads on our website. Giving back to the community is one of the greatest values. So 1% of all transactions will be given back every few months as a donation to an organization that the user will vote for. Now we will review our 5-year forecast. Our assumption is based on getting 5% of the total students in Ben-Gurion University to join our marketplace within the first year of launching the application, and reach to 1% of the total students in Israel within 2 years. By the third year, the marketplace is expected to be published in the US market, which will bring the total amount of users to about 22,000 and a growth rate of about 20% in an average year for the years to follow. According to those assumptions, we're looking at about 2.1 million new Israeli shekels in revenue in the first 5 years to the project. When breaking down those numbers, we're looking at about 5.1 million shekels coming in from those fees systems and about 0.8 million that will come from publishing and advertisements. Now we will take a short tour of our prototype product that has been fed on mocking data for presentation purposes. Here we can see the main page of our marketplace, which present all the current services that sellers are offering. By clicking on any kind of service, we can see a short description of the service, the seller contact information, and the option to purchase the service. Easily, each user can become a seller by clicking Become a Seller, which leads to a registration form, and from there can easily add any service out of the current categories. can see that a new service has been added to our system with our price and our information. Now we will go back to the presentation. By this point, we were able to develop our smart contract and token that will support our goal. Our current version is running on an Ethereum testnet platform, and all needed rules such as transferring, minting, and collecting fees mechanism have been applied to the tokens. Thank you very much for listening. This is our contact information.
Thank you. And now the judges.
Yes.
Who would like to start?
I'm happy to go.
Darty, can you turn on your video?
Yes, I'm trying to remember to do that every time. Sorry, apologies, here I am. Great presentation. I mean, it was so detailed and you seem to have addressed a lot of questions potentially.
Okay.
I just wanted to understand, are you thinking about white labeling? Because when you discussed your target market, you were talking about people out of college who have debt and who have student loans and things like that. And then you're talking about doing your pilot in a university environment, which is geofenced, I'm assuming. So what is your go-to-market exactly?
Our go-to-market at the first stage of this project. Okay, let's start with the fact that we are looking at creating a whole ecosystem. Our first product into this ecosystem is going to be student-oriented. Our goal is to get into the schools of Israel within 2 years from starting the program. We're going to start a beta test in Ben Gurion and in Tel Aviv as soon as the month of May. And this is as a first step of trying and seeing what it feels like and really trying out the first stage. But yes, the first product of our ecosystem is going to be a student-oriented marketplace that is at the first step is going to be in Israel. Second step is in our head, we see reaching to the US market. And of course, the global market is our main goal. And in the end of the day, we want to connect between students from all across the globe, having them the option to share their services and their goods and to ship them internationally. And this is our main goal.
Okay, and so the reason you studied the debt market for student loans, etc., is so that you are providing a proactive solution so that they don't get into that situation.
Exactly,
so
exactly.
Okay.
We given a solution for students right now to make money due to the COVID crisis that have been cutting tons of student jobs and tons of jobs in general. And we give them the option to make their own money, save it. And on top of that, we have our embedded service that will teach them and will allow them to invest those assets, this money in the crypto market.
And you obviously, the regulatory environment is something that you are completely in the know of and on top of. Yeah.
Yes,
great.
we are.
Thank you. This is great. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm not sure how you take the money that you done in this closed system. Yeah, it's a closed marketplace with its own money. It's a little bit like what we call monopoly. How you take it outside?
Okay, so in the blockchain world, basically, this is not a locked money. This token can be converted into any major token, such as Bitcoin, such as an Ethereum, such as Binance token, which are the 3 major tokens right now in the market. And from there, you basically can convert it and so on to any other crypto token. If you want to convert it back to like a normal fiat, such as shekels or dollars or any other, for example, in Israel now there is a brand new service that Bank Leumi, which is one of the biggest banks, is offering to start, purchase, and trade crypto. And as we speak, we are searching the market to see how we can partnership with companies in the US and globally to have them help us with this process.
Yeah.
Benjamin Srijit.
Yeah, just a very quick one. Again, it's a very interesting concept. You are onboarding vendors and students. Do you think your initial acquisition costs will be high? How are you looking at your ARPU?
Okay, so when we're speaking about budgets and when we're speaking about expendings, we are the people who develop in the systems. So the major cost of developing time and developing money, it would come from our pocket as 6 developers who would give their part to this project, in addition to funding that we will get from the universities and the student organizations to start the process with us.
No, I'm not looking at where will you get the money from. I'm saying acquisition cost in the beginning would be high since you're looking at both vendors and students.
Okay,
Therefore, I wanted to understand what is your ARPU and how does it move over the years?
So I'm sorry because I did not understand you at first. Well, no, at first we're not looking at vendors. At first, it's all going to be student-based. Student will offer their own services, such as I can be a cake baker and I can offer bakes. I can offer my goods and I can offer my knowledge in programming and such as giving service as private classes in programming. So at the beginning, we wouldn't work with like an outside vendors. We would work only with students.
Hey guys, I have to close this one. Judges, please score. And the next group will be Schooler with Maor. Get ready. Turn on your cameras. The rest, please turn off your cameras.
Thank you very much, guys, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dor. And I'd like to use the opportunity to thank Ofer Zavin, head of the FinTech R&D X Lab at BGU, and the academic Tel Aviv Jaffa for mentoring this group and his partnership with our program. Thanks, Ofer, if you listen to us, if you're here.
Anat, can you please enter Maor's team members?
What's the name?
I just sent you the names.
Okay. Udi is in, and who else is required? And Nissim Iluz Vemaya, okay. And yeah. Okay, I'm starting. Maor, would you like to present your group?
Yeah. Do you see me?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Hi, my name is Maor, and I'm the CEO and founder of Scholar. Today would be my team, our developers, and our UI UX designer. And we will go to presentation, and after that, we will do Q&A session.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Maor, and I am the founder and CEO of Scholar, Israeli startup to develop a SaaS platform for the world of scholarships. Here's a short story. In my past, when I was a student, I was looking for the scholarship that would help me fund my studies. Indeed, I was fortunate enough to receive significant funding, and without this, I could not have succeeded in my studies. But there were a lot of difficulties along the way to receiving the scholarship, approving it, and contacting the donor organization. What about you? When you were a student, did you feel bad about applying for a scholarship? And if you have already been approved, have you experienced difficulties in communication between you and the scholarship donor? That's why we are here. We are Scholar. We are developing a marketplace for an organization that gives scholarships. Any organization that aim to help students find standing, such as governments, ministers, municipalities, private donors, and so on. A marketplace on the other side. On the other side, there are candidates who wish to search and find scholarships. These are actually the users, the students. And you may ask, what is the problem? I gave 3 quotes of very similar organization in Israel who presented me with a number of problems which our platform solves. The Impact organization mentioned to us that they were interested in a system that they can scan the document the students have and use image processing technology in order to verify the relevant documents for a scholarship. In fact, we will help organizations to implement relevant candidates during the initial filtration phase. A second example is an organization called Givatayim, a municipality in Israel. This is an organization that's interested in a system that will integrate all the documents comes from the students into one place. To avoid unnecessary use of manual data entering, basically they want a type of CRM. On the other side, there are students who need desperately a system to help them, as simple as they can, find a quick, effective scholarship. Scholar uses artificial intelligence in order to accumulate the relevant scholarships to the application candidate's profile. Our system can help students understand whether their files are verified for applying for a scholarship request or not, bureaucratically. By using image processing technology, Scholar saves a lot of time because it's possible to upload relevant documents and edit them. Each time the documents are required for a scholarship request, there is no need to rescan them in every time. This is the data of the potential market size for such an enterprise. This is basically the total amount of money thrown in the world with regards to scholarships every year. In Israel, the market size is 1.2 billion NIS. In the United States, the market size is above $7.1 billion. And in Europe, market size is over 15.6 billion euros. As you can see, there is a huge potential. We are Scholar. Scholar is an Israeli startup company that comes to help students to fulfill their academic dreams and also to help any organization that contributes to this platform manage its information, find its ultimate scholar. Everything in the user interface is accessible without complicated installation, complicated tables, and much more. To solve the problem I presented before, we developed Scholar, which is a wise system that will optimize the entire process of applying for a scholarship. From the moment candidate is looking for a scholarship to approval and receiving it. Actually, we want to change the entire standard of applying a request for a scholarship to approval of this request. Scholar is more accessible, fast, fun, and efficient. So how does it work? The candidates enter the system by making a user profile, seek scholarship, receive a scholarship that is specifically relevant to their student's profile, and a request for a scholarship. They have ability to apply with and without registration. On the organization and donor side, who give the scholarships, the same organization sign up using our platform. Candidates can see which organization gives scholarships in their title and are able to receive a real-time alert once a scholarship is submitted. The organization information is automatically updated in the program for candidate to see. This means that the status of any given moment about the scholarship that can be received will alert the candidate so that they can receive details about the scholarship and make them aware of what specific documents need to be uploaded. We will receive a notification of the relevant documents uploaded, of which our system uses high-tech image processing to verify. Our business model is based on 2 stages. The first stage is to give the product at no cost for 1 year in order to generate user traffic. After we accumulate enough traffic and use, each user will be charged depending on the form of use. Our market strategy is pretty standard. With 6-month development phase, we build a prototype, develop a better version, go into production, and start working with design partners. Basically collaborating with 2 or 3 organizations that give scholarship for about a half of a year. This will actually help us gain users. Once we gain users, we will enter the Israeli market on a commercial level, and then we will also enter the international market. Me and my team. I am Maor, the founder and CEO of Scholar. I have a BSc in electronics and electrical engineering. I have extensive experience in a variety of technological disciplines, such as image processing, computer vision, web application, and websites, most of which are in the field of development, but also in integration. David is our advisory board. He holding 2 degrees from Tel Aviv University. and also he is a team leader of our UI UX team. He has extensive experience in the post-production world, specialized in branding, user interface design, and characterization of mobile application and websites. Maya is our senior user experience designer. With 2 degrees from the Tel Aviv University in the field of art, she has experience in the world of photography and art. Shaked joined our team, and together they create a perfect user experience. Sarah Ayash is our client-side front-end programmer. She has a bachelor degree in software engineering and is a programmer with extensive experience in the field of application and websites. Joining her on the client-side team is Alex, a client-side programmer as well. On the back-end server side, we have 2 programmers. Nissim has a bachelor degree in computer science as well as rich experience in server-side and database development. He joins Uri, a server-side team which is responsible for developing the image processing algorithm. So how are we different from our competitors? Our system faces all of the challenges that our competitors are not willing to face. This includes the communication between the organization and the students after receiving the scholarship and its approval, documents that must be scanned each time to submit an application, and of course, integral systems that provide a simple solution for the students and organizations. We provide the organization with an information management system that will give them the integration of a system on a website. We provide the candidate with an area on their profile, to upload their documents, edit them, write personal letter, and more. Our system uses image processing technology to scan and validate the documents that scholarship applicant upload, thus saving valuable time for both the organization and the students. You may ask, what added value do we offer? According to our research, there are no scholarship platforms in the world that provide integral solution to problems and needs for both candidates and organization, all in one system that is simple to use, easy, and accessible to everyone. We are Scholar. We provide a chance for every student and donor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maor. Who wants to start?
I want to start. You said that you're gonna take some fees from each user, but as far as I know, in the many years since I was a student, I think that each student usually takes 1 scholar or maybe 2 scholars in all his lifetime. So the income base is quite has some kind of a cap. It's not an ongoing income.
Yeah, actually, we will not trust on the students because what you said. We will start to take income from the organization that donors the scholarships as a free trial model, kind of subscription. And after we will use the student as a traffic, not for customers. After that, we will think at the end of process about something like transaction model for taking each percent, 1% or 2% from the scholarship award.
Do you think that this the lack of your platform is something that stopping those organizations from giving scholars?
Actually, we don't want.
To be very frank with you, understand the inconvenience that you are resolving, but do you think that you are resolve something critical path on those organizations that without you, their goals will not be materialized?
Actually, yes, because we don't solve we don't solve problem that there are other solutions in the world or in our country, but it's not enough for the organization to take all the budget that go to the students and like do 100% from the budget
Have
to
you
the
checked?
students.
Have you checked what is the pricing model of your competitors?
Yes, actually, yes.
What is
so my competitors, one of them or a part of them use something like a free trial model, but they changed from us because they applied for the students and we applied for both of the marketplace field, also the organization and also the students.
I'll rephrase my question. Do you know about other platforms that collect the money from the organizations, and how much, if you do, how much they collect?
Yeah, actually, I don't know about this fact because all my research done, that all of my research was that if I will ask them about the model, about incomes, so they will told me that the organization itself don't pay money for the transaction, but they take just from the students. It's kind of a free model, freemium from the students. Actually, the organization itself pay about on-the-shelf products like CRM or ERP, something like that, but they not pay directly to some product like us.
Guys, I would like to have one question from another judge. We need to continue.
Yeah, I'll just continue on, the previous conversation. I completely agree. I think a two-sided marketplace, your acquisition costs are through the roof. And if you don't have research that supports your value proposition, what is exactly the value proposition? And is an organization willing to pay is really where you should do a little more research because that's not coming through clearly in your presentation. And how are you eventually going to monetize? What is the revenue model for your company, for Scholar?
Yeah, so I will repeat. Actually, we know that organization pay for products to help them to manage all the scholarship process, but they will not pay for something like our competitors in the web. They just if we will explain what our competitors do or does, they did some database market, like they take all the database of the scholarship organization and they will apply for the students, but they don't give any service for the organization. So this is the reason that they don't want to pay. But from our research, organization actually told us that if you will give us enough valuable thing, like what I said from the I just presented it in the pitch, that if we will give them enough things to do with our service, like image processing and like CRM and things like that, so they actually.
I understand that. That's very clear. But eventually, how are you going to charge, right? The question was, if it's a one-time use, it's not a repeat value. There's no annual recurring revenue or there's no lifetime value, right? It's a one-time thing. For the organization, I understand that they will stay on your platform because there will be other takers and this is going to be a repeat value. What are you eventually going to charge them? Because you said you're going to give them the free model at the beginning, business to business, to bring them onto the platform. You're creating a marketplace.
Yeah.
So what is your monetization model, your revenue model for these companies once the freemium ends?
Yeah, so once the freemium ends, we want to charge them by free trial model, like 3 months it's free, and after that go for some subscription model per user.
Okay, I think the financial modeling can be looked at. Maybe that's something you want to work on. Sure.
Thank you, Maor, and your group from Schooler, from
you.
AJT. Judges, please take the time to score this group. And Mr. Hoffman, please get ready.
Can you hear me?
Yes, but just let's
Okay.
make it
Yeah.
just give the judges another 20 seconds to finish their scoring.
Sure.
Okay, we have moved to group number 6, Avi from Tel Aviv University. Team leader is Benjamin Hoffman. There is someone that makes a lot of noise. Maybe it's you, Benjamin? Yep. Please note that this is not a pitch, this is a full presentation, and Mr. Hoffman again came with his very fancy suit, so that gives him an extra point. Please, Mr. Hoffman, go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm gonna make it a bit more live now. So yeah, hi, my name is Benjamin. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ArBC. ArBC seeks to accelerate the transition to a carbon neutral society by incentivizing citizens to use alternative ways of transportation. Now let me get started with the presentation. A second. Well, so basically, in our research, we try to identify basically like we have the Keeling curve. Unfortunately, right now it's not working. Don't know why. Now okay, there we go. So basically, this is the Keeling curve. It shows us how much carbon emissions are currently in the atmosphere, and we're currently at 419. Now, in our research, we try to identify where is it kind of getting uncomfortable on this planet, and we found the number 500. And as you can see, we're getting really close to this point of no return. So it's time to either flatten the curve or make sure the curve goes down. We identified passenger vehicles as one of the main sources of carbon emission. They emit around 41% of global transportation emissions. But the global transportation emission sector produces around 7.3 billion metric tons of carbon emissions every year. To put this in perspective, that's around 1.8 billion tons, 1.8 billion elephants of emissions we are putting in our atmosphere every year. Now, we tried to find out, how can we flatten the curve? How can we make sure it goes down? And we found an opportunity with companies, because companies have a significant problem to engage with their employees. But not only that, they have huge problem to also attract new talent. But also employees demand more than just being employed or have a good brand. They want to have a meaningful work experience as well. And that's exactly where ArBC comes into play. ArBC is a mobile application where employees collect points, compete and get rewards by using alternative ways of transportation. Our main goal is to reduce traffic and air pollution, but also increase the happiness, health, and the sense of community. But most importantly, make citizens a significant player in contributing to saving our planet. Now, to just put this in perspective, if one person would switch from their private vehicle to an existing alternative transportation, they would save around 21 tons of carbon emissions every year. Now let's look at our market. We're in the employee engagement software market, which is a $64.5 billion market. It's growing at a 13.29% rate year over year, and it is expected to be at around 154.8 billion by 2027. We want to start in Europe. Europe has over 262,000 companies which employ over 250 employees. In total, they employ over 131 million employees. And we just want to focus on 10% of this market, which is around 13.1 million employees, which gives us an expected yearly revenue of $786 million. Now, in addition to our market, we also did a little market validation to see if there's actually a market there. So we went on public transportation in Tel Aviv and gave coupons to people on public transportation. And people were really happy to receive a gift. We also understood that our demographic is more younger, more towards 20 to 34-year-old people. And also people want to have their incentive, their coupons on their phone. Then we went on their website in Germany, where we made an ad and said, if you use alternative transportation, you get a gift. And people actually privately messaged us and saying, hey, I'm using alternative transportation. I would love to get an incentive, a gift. And we understood, wait a minute, there's a demand. In our third phase, we actually went to big companies, for example, Bank Leumi is a big bank in Israel, but also multinationals like Philips, and we told them about Auvi, and their response was, hey, this is a great idea, show us a demo. And that's why our next step is the MVP. Now, MVP will look really simple. You sign up, you choose your way of alternative transportation, earn points, and then you collect points, compete, and get rewards. Now, when it comes to our business model, we give companies the value to engage better with their employees, but not only from an engagement, but also from a sustainability aspect. And employees feel better on the other hand, and they can compete with each other to make a sustainable change. And we will ask for a monthly subscription fee for that. Now, when it comes to our go-to-market strategy, at the first stages, we want to develop our first, the basic MVP with the small companies and employees, and at the later stage, expand to bigger companies with over 250 employees, and in our fourth phase, then have our first paying customers. Now, when it comes to selling or distributing Auvi, we thought about a top-down or down-up approach. So what does that mean? Top-down means we go to the representative HR person or heads of an organization, and they distribute Auvi to the employees, or we actually go directly down up to the employees, and they say, hey, we love Auvi so much, let's implement this into our company. Now, with every great idea, you also need a great team, and we have exactly that. Natalia, my co-founder and CTO, was an IT product manager for over 4 years, working with companies such as Volvo, IKEA, Sony, Lego, UNICEF, and Casio. And she was involved in sustainable development project for over 3 years. I myself co-founded a volunteer organization in Israel, where we work with Israel's major NGOs to reduce Israel's dependency on plastics. And I've been involved in the sustainability and entrepreneurship community for over 4 years. But in addition to our professional experience, we also bring some hands-on sustainability experience on board. Natalia was involved in a project in Africa where she provided sanitation education to kids in Africa. And I was involved in a project in India where we built a house for a low-income family in a rural area outside of Mumbai. Now, let's look at our competitive landscape. Slick deals is kind of the status quo. You just get like some coupons and that's it, right? And incentives. With Kolu, they do a really similar model, but they work with municipalities actually. And we also talk with municipalities, and it's the worst thing you can do. They already failed in Israel, and they're also currently failing in America. Our main competition is Activity and Rumble, but they mainly focus on health and counting steps and giving you an incentive. Now we, support a carbon neutral and healthy lifestyle, which is really following the sustainability agenda, which is really important today, which comes together with recognition in society and politics. Every company is going carbon neutral in the next 10 years or 20 years, and it's really important to have a tool to show how much you're doing to get to that goal. Now, we also are adapted for the future of mobility when it comes to, for example, autonomous vehicles. This can also be implemented into the Auvi platform. But most importantly, we want to make sustainability fun and gamify it and encourage people to make a difference and save our planet. Now, our key milestones are, we got accepted to Haifa Accelerator, we got the first page of the MVP almost done, and we talked with over 20 industry expert entrepreneurs, investors to get more insights on Auvi. When it comes to our financials, we expect to have around 5,000 employees sign up by the end of 2022. We want to have more than 100,000 sign up by the end of 2023 and more than 1 million by the end of 2024. And that's why we're asking for a pre-seed investment for around $120,000 to get started with the MVP and also find a product fit for Auvi. Thank you so much for listening, and the Auvi team is happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Benjamin. Very nice. I appreciate the live presentation. It's not simple, and you did it wonderfully. Judges, Shrijit, before you disappear to us soon, I'll give you the right to talk.
Look, a very nice presentation, Benjamin. I think I'm just saying that it is, given your USP will be partnered, it's a massive effort to build both as they're interdependent. What I'm not clear about, what is acquisition cost? Do you think it's going to be low or high in the beginning? Second question is, who's going to pay for this? Will it be government, companies? I mean, if as a user you ask me to, go in a public transport, leave my car, the coupons, and does you expect me to be charged?
it was really hard to understand you, but I understood the parts of it. So basically, that's why our business model is with companies. And we actually, the incentives and the coupons, they will come at the beginning from the company, not from us. We will, at the beginning, that's why I explained in the business model, just focus on giving this gamification tool and the sustainability for companies. But yeah, so this is the first question. Can you repeat it? Because it was really hard. It kind of broke up.
Okay. So what I was saying is that you have because you're trying to get everybody onto the same platform, whether it is, on one side it is interdependent from to the companies. Do you think the acquisition cost is going to be high? Question number one. Question number two, who's paying for this? You're saying companies in the beginning. I understand. Why would a user take the benefit? The understanding is that people don't want to do something only for the sustainability aspect. A very few percentage in the world today. How will you motivate them? And last and not the least, how is Rumble, where I think insurance at least may be paying for it? How are they doing?
So basically, the incentives, like I said, come from the right? We don't do the incentives at the beginning. That's just basically the company. When it comes to how to convince people, for example, you're in a team and there are 2 people using a turf transportation and 2 don't, let's say, right? So if you want to win at the end of the month in the company, you need to encourage your other P employees to also use a turf transportation. And that's why we do this gamification and competition. So they motivate each other to actually compete, So, and also it's a personal thing, right? You want to look good towards your employees who, especially the young generation, for example, we found out, right? They really care about this. That's why we said also it's more the younger generation who now come into the workforce. And so they really care about this.
Okay. Ilan, Darty, Benny?
I have no questions. It's clear.
I have just one question on the serviceable obtainable market. How are you going to analyze your SOM and for which market?
What do you mean, analyze the SOM?
Your chunk of this big universe of people who take, cars and they drive, and I'm tying this into the first question, how are you going to create that behavior modification?
Well, at the beginning, we understood that it will be tough. And that's why we focus on the people who already use alternative transportation. And actually, we also wanted them to kind of be the people who encourage other people to use more alternative transportation. But the beginning stage will be just focus on people who already use it. And then especially because global agendas, countries, cities, they all go towards public transportation, alternative transportation, especially in cities. And that's exactly where we also be part of, we want to be part of that transition.
I meant more from numbers, if you had them, happy to put it in the feedback for you.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you mean how many people are using alternative transportation or how many use cars?
What is your target audience going to be? What is your persona going to be? How are you going to make money, right? Because unless and until you understand your serviceable obtainable market, this is not a not-for-profit. This is a for-profit business, right?
Yes.
So you want to be talking about metrics. You want to be talking about financial modeling. That's what I'm talking about. I'll put it in my feedback. I don't want to take up too much time.
No, we basically want to focus on the employees in Europe, which they're over 131 million, and we want to start with that small number, especially because not everyone lives in cities, for example. So that's why we focus on a small amount of number, especially in the cities where people use a lot of public transportation, and then grow from there. So that's why that's why we want to work. We start in Europe because their public transportation is really good there.
Understood. So your immediate go-to-market is going to be Europe. So
correct.
Your numbers are going to be focused on Europe. You're going to
correct.
develop what we call a POC, proof of concept, and then you're going to validate this with hopefully more users on the platform. Great.
Correct.
There's a company out of the UAE called Lock and Stock. You might want to check out their revenue and business model.
Lock and Stock, okay.
Yes,
Can you write it in the chat?
I will put it in the feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Benjamin. I ask the judges now to score, and thank you. And Shachar and Ophir, get ready.
Hi.
Benjamin, unmute yourself and okay. Hi, Shachar.
Hi.
And I'll give the judges 1 minute to get ready.
Okay.
Okay. I guess that the judges already are speedy in their scoring. We have with us Shachar Vitonsky with a group named ArBC. And Shachar is from AJT, Holon Institute of Technology. And we'll start your presentation now.
Hello, I'm Shahar. My story begins when I was still a boy, with learning difficulties, you know, dyslexia. Even as a boy, I felt something different. I didn't know how to express it. I developed ways to overcome it through imagination and creativity. It helped me to see clearly, think logically, and look forward. As a boy, kids laughed at me. That's why I always imagined having a magic tool that would let me express what was in my head, so everyone would understand me.
I love to draw very much. But I don't like to read or write because it's hard for me. When I read words, all the letters fly in the air. It's very hard for me to understand what is written. My father bought me special glasses to help me read. There's a funny dot that moves wherever I look. I love when it makes drawings of the hard words that I don't understand. If I read something fast, the dot moves faster. That way I can focus on the words. Sometimes I read, but not always correctly. I don't fully understand what I read. The same dot moves on my sister's tablet. This makes me happy because I understand. It's so cool. I tell the glasses to help me with everything. The funny glasses show me the Hebrew punctuation of the words. They even color in the words. This is the color that I chose. Blue is my favorite color. The dot punctuates all of the words. The best part is the drawings. With the funny glasses, it's easy to write and read. No one would laugh at me anymore.
Children with dyslexia experience learning difficulties, especially in reading. Dyslexia accounts for 80% of all learning disorders.
There are 700 million humans with dyslexia. Children with dyslexia usually stay behind. They do not progress, do not fulfill their learning potential, and tend to develop low self-esteem. Most kids with dyslexia are not diagnosed. Therefore, they miss the opportunity to improve their learning capabilities. All current solutions offer kids with dyslexia tools that help them live with their disability. ArBC helps them to overcome their disability. Recent research concluded that training improves the reading skills of 50% to 75% of children with dyslexia. Practicing with augmented reality glasses improves reading and comprehension. ArBC utilizes the XR eye tracker to diagnose quickly kids with dyslexia, tailor personalized training programs according to each kid's reading level, monitor their progress while they train. ArBC 3D, colorful UX UI, is intended to train kids with dyslexia on utilizing their right brain's edge for their benefit while reading. We already developed a minimum viable product. Product features include colorful text, pop-up images for keywords, and a finger tracker. Red dot eye tracker, recording of individual training sessions. There are 49 million children with dyslexia, age 6 to 9 globally. Key assumptions: 550 annual premium subscription, therapist, $240 per year per user, student. Reaching 10,000 premium customers in year 5. Reaching 500,000 basic customers in year 5.
ArBC, changing the world we see.
Thank you, Shachar and Ophir. And who from the judges would like to start?
I will
I'm
start.
happy to go. Yeah. Go
Okay,
ahead,
no.
No, please go ahead.
Ladies first, ladies first.
Benny, go ahead. Benny, go ahead. You.
Yeah, please do.
Very impressive. Now, in your solution, is there something that can measure the learning curve of the patient, the child, that if you use your solution for that period of time, there is some kind of increase in his capabilities, in his overcoming the dyslexia? Because I think there's something, it does not appear in the presentation. Maybe it is there, because if it is there, you should add it.
Shachar, should I answer it? Okay. First of all, yes, it diagnoses first to see if the kid has dyslexia or not. You know, dyslexia is a general name for many other like dyscalculia, dysgraphia, difficulties in reading and writing, etc. So it diagnoses exactly what is the problem and tailors the specific solution to each kid. It monitors each session, so it has a recording function, so the therapist or the teacher or the parent can see the progress that each kid makes, and according to the progress, it tailors the program. And by the way, the kid with the dyslexia will still have dyslexia, but he will have better ability to read with time.
Yes,
dyslexia, you know, it does not.
You're not changing the brain. That's sure, but you give some bypasses. I don't know how to say it. Okay.
I'm not sure if you notice that, you know, we're trying to, you know, kids with dyslexia usually has better 3D perception. Okay, we're trying to, you know, to take the advantage of their let's call it the better right brain function in order to overcome their reading disability.
To compensate the left side, okay.
Darty, go ahead.
Yeah, this is great. I just wanted to know if you have any IP, any patenting that you've looked at, and if you're the first out of the gate and you have a truly great differentiator.
Was your question was regarding the IP?
Mm-hmm.
We're checking it with lawyers. Okay, our lawyers say that it's patentable. We can write an IP, but it's a bit complicated. As we're already discussing it with big companies like Microsoft, so we want to have the IP for ourselves. And if we want to move forward with the AR, with the augmented reality glasses, because it's quite expensive, we might want to join forces with Microsoft. The current development is based on the HoloLens of Microsoft, and it is quite expensive. Although the technology is already there, it's a bit premature because it is very expensive. So at the same time, we are developing in parallel the product for tablets, which is more, the market is bigger, and over there we have a better ability to solicitate the customers themselves. By the way, although the customers, the kids, we're not going to solicitate the kids, but their parents through social networks.
Correct.
We think it's a more viable way, a better go-to-market strategy to do the B2C instead of B2B. Because B2B is a very long way. We need a lot of resources to build a sales force in the US, in Europe, going to solicitate therapists, schools, libraries. It would be a much longer way. On the other hand, we heard from everybody in the industry that big companies like even Facebook putting big sums of money into developing the AR area. So we don't know. Maybe in 1 year, maybe in 2 years, it will become much cheaper. But we don't want to wait. So until then, we in the same time we develop the tablet option.
Shrijit, before you disappear to us, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah. So 2 questions and 1 thought. You raised 1 point about Microsoft. How is it easy? How will it be for someone like Microsoft to replicate? Will they replicate quickly, or partnership is not one thought that you already talked about? Will tablet become a limiting factor? What do you think? Could you use smart TVs, etc., as another thought? And last is, since you're talking about your TAM as in total addressable market, including the entire globe, do you think how do you plan to handle languages that differ everywhere? Over.
This is the trickiest questions regarding languages. Okay, if you just make a short, a quick search in Google about dyslexia in China, it is entirely different. Okay, because their letters are like kind of paint drawings. Okay. Dyslexia is defined differently in China, as an example. So it depends on the system of language in each country. So I began, from this very tricky question. Let's try to go back, okay, to Microsoft. Okay, we had 2 very good meetings with Microsoft. Okay, they were very enthusiastic because they already have a product for this children with dyslexia. But what their product is doing is it is just splitting the text. Okay, it makes it a bit easier to read. Okay, but we are much more active in helping kids, to improve their reading abilities. So they were very enthusiastic. We promised to come back with the ready MVP. They are pushing more towards the glasses and not the tablet because they have I think their HoloLens is a bit of a failure. The market did not accept it so well. But its features are much more advanced in comparison to Oculus and other virtual reality glasses. They also offered us maybe to help us, supporting us with their equipment, and also they can help us penetrate the market. They have other products that are already approaching schools around the world, so we might just want to use their distribution system. Of course, we don't want to become just employees of Microsoft. On the other hand, or they give them any exclusivity. And the middle question was regarding the tablet. The tablet is inferior in terms of technology. Okay, we tried, we made all kinds of experiments with the camera. it's not the same as the eye tracker that the eyeglasses use, okay? So it's a bit inferior from one side, but on the other hand, you have a much bigger market, okay? A much bigger market that you can approach. Again, we want to be able to market it directly to parents, that they know that the kids has, even if they do not call it dyslexia, we know that 80% of learning difficulties are under the roof of dyslexia, okay? So we would like to approach them in social networks, okay? There are also many groups of in the social networks of parents that have kids with learning difficulties, okay? So we think it's better to first approach the market and feel the market, okay? And get feedbacks and improve our product before we come up with the best ever cutting edge product, okay? How do we do it? Of course, it's a matter of seeding, you know, of money. If we have enough money, we can do both. But probably, I think that the better process would be first to approach the market with the tablet, and with the feedback, you know, continue and develop the better product, which is using the augmented reality glasses.
Guys, I'd like you to move to scoring this group.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Benjamin Hoffman, can you turn off your mic? And the last group to get ready, Shiran Yosef with your lovely smile. Shiran with Pauz from Holon Institute of Technology. And
you want me to introduce myself first?
No, you wait a second until
okay.
I just need to thank our judge, Srijit Mishra, which must leave us now, right, Srijit? Or you are able to stay another presentation?
We'll certainly stay for this one and then score and then go, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
good.
you.
So, Shiran, here you go.
Hi
okay.
everyone, my name is Shiran Yosef and I'm 25 years old from Israel. I'm a computer science student and I'm the founder of Pauz, which I will show you right now. In 2020, over 77% of the jobs in the world included knowledge and skills in computers. There is a lot of studies that show that continuous work in front of a computer screen reduced the employee effectiveness. About 97% of the tired workers lose 5.6 productivity hours a week. The total damage to the employees costs about 136 billion a year. A study that done in March 2021 found that breaks can reduce the stress in the workplace, and the less stressed the employee is, his performers are better. Robert Posen, a professor at MIT, recommends to take a break every 75 till 90 minutes, which is a non-individual number. Most of the breaks currently in the workplace are not customized to the employees. Neither the employees or the employers knows when the right time to take a break and refresh. They both want a balance between the productivity and the well-being, and that's what I do. Today, at many areas, understand that the human beings are different from each other, and all the new solutions based on personalization. That's why I suggest a new platform that's scheduling breaks to increase the well-being and the productivity of the employees. It's important for me to say that those are micro breaks. It's a new technique that helps our brain to reorganize. My product belonged to the HR category as a corporate wellness software, data collection and analysis to optimize productivity by optimizing employees. And like the most trends that related to the HR category, also in my product, we use artificial intelligence and machine learning to ensure personalization. Also, in the future, we can identify so many cases like stress, pressure, back or neck pain, and response. So, why now? A lot of students and workers moved to study and work from home due to the coronavirus. Actually, just 17% of them prefer frontal. Many colleges, universities, and workplaces switch to computer use, and it's just go on and on by the years. A lot of time in front of a computer screen cause eyes pain, headache, lack of concentration, and many more. And in the last few years, we are more aware to the consequences. The AI market expected to reach $119 billion by 2025. This technology allows a lot of startups to enter the market because they provided new solutions with the help of smart and fast machines. New jobs are created, like employer brand managers, employee experience managers, and more, just to keep the employees in the company. My product is a desktop application that's scheduling breaks in a personal way, in a pleasant and innovative user experience. It includes alerts, changing in the light of the screen, summary report, and more, all those just to help the employees learn about themselves and be better in the future. Now I will show you a small simulation of a working day with PAUs.
Meet Ben. Ben works with a computer every day for hours. Ben gets an alert whenever he's less productive. Want to know how? Ben uses Pause. Pause is a platform-based science research algorithm that detects signs of tiredness, lack of concentration, and sends you alerts for micro break time. We can also adjust your brightness level so your eyes will not hurt. Also, once a week, you can get a summary report of your productivity graph. Working in front of a screen has never been more effective.
So, here you can see the main benefits for both sides, the user and the employer. For the user, of course, an amazing user experience. He knows that he has technology that learns him and fits just for him. And with the help of the report, he can be able to learn about himself and adapt his work to the hours of the day. And for the employer, of course, saving time and money due to the effective and productive employee. The human resources technology market is huge and expected to reach $19 billion by 2025. Currently, it's standing on $35.7 billion. And the global corporate wellness is standing on $40.2 billion in 2020. The field of HR tech meets real need that exists in the market, and therefore it's a great solution anywhere in the world. The global market is expected to develop at a CAGR of 8.2% from 2021 to 2028. According to a study that done in 2021, human resource technology company closed investment of $70 billion a year, 3 times more than in 2019, only 2 years before that. Most employers spend between $200 to $600 in month on HR technology for every employee. The first target audience we will turn to is organizations in Europe because they use this type of software and there is a high awareness of a healthy lifestyle. With 272K organizations and 35.5 million possible users. Then we will continue to United States with 993K organizations and 77 million possible users. And finally, all over the world with 213 million organizations. This is a platform that suits for so many areas, such as small and medium-sized businesses, high-tech organizations, public organizations, the military, government authorities, and more. And in the first step, we will turn to employer brand managers, HR people, VP of the human resource, and employee experience managers, because they have the same interests like us to take care of the employees. There is a lot of companies who gives the same value as mine or use similar technology, whether if it's for organizations and workplace and whether if it's for personal use. Here they are divided into categories, and you can see that in the workplace have the most softwares because this is where the big money is. Here you can see my benefits over the other categories. You can see that my product is customized and personal and gives a summary report so that the person can evaluate his performance in the future. So after all that, my added value is that the product is customized for each user and does not use statistics, but technology. So first of all, creating an MVP. After receiving the financial investment, we will improve the product we have now, plus the sensors, because at the moment, it is only with a camera use. Next, we will collaborate with an organization that has at least 50 employees to improve the software and deal with unexpected problems. The collaborating company will receive the product for 6 months free trial. And finally, pricing by basic, standard, and premium user. PAUS will cost about $9.99 per month for basic user, about $14.99 for standard user, and about $19.99 for premium user. And there are packages. For companies with over 50 users, it will cost $160 per year for standard and $200 for premium. And for companies with over 100 users, it will cost $150 per year for standard and $180 for premium. And this is the business plan. In the first year, we probably not make a profit, but after that, from the second year, we start to profit, and that with only 2,000 users. And here we are. I, the founder of the project for almost a year. Together with me, I have 2 advisors, Omer, who is a businessman and helped me to get the right decisions in the project, and Nissan, who helps me to build my first MVP. Together with us, Gal, she is the designer of the project and responsible for the branding, and the team of the programmers, Bar, Or, Adir, and Einav. And that's all. Thank you very much for your time and listening.
Thank you very much, Shiran.
Thank you. I hope that everything was clear.
Let's see. Judges, would you like to start?
Take a pause.
We need one, yes.
I want to understand something very basic.
Yes.
Product application, it monitors my performances and accordingly tell me when should I take a pause?
Yes. Actually, it's a small pause. It's up to 2 minutes, and sometimes the person does not even need to get up from the chairs. Those are micro breaks. It's just for our brain to reorganize. And I want the computer do it better for me. And there is a lot of technology. The computers know to do things better from us. So this is my goal.
I personally need the other way, that it will tell me when to work.
Okay. My next startup.
and also makes us to do so.
Darty, would you like to?
Yes, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the product uniqueness. What is it from a technology standpoint that you're bringing to the table that the others don't have? In the United States, this is a very crowded market. Like you rightly said, of course, HR, typically every company is spending anywhere from $200 to $600. It's mainly SaaS-driven software products, right? So software as a service is a lot of the HR tech companies are providing that. What is different about the solution that you're bringing? I'm not still getting that.
Yes. So my added value is actually the combination of new technology and accuracy. Personalization is the hot field today, and that's what sets me apart, the accuracy. No one do it in this way with the sensor of face recognition. They all both statistics and things like that.
Did you have pause in the background? Can you tell right now if I'm fully here or
No,
I need a break?
Actually, we need to finish the MVP in this month.
No, but seriously.
So all of 20, sorry, I'm just going to finish. All of 2022 on your financial projections, you mentioned that you are going to be developing the product. So the product is not there. You're looking for money to develop the product. Is that correct?
Here we have just the MVP. I have a team of students. We are 10 students, and I need the investment to do the pilot and improve the technology, because I want to use the sensors of the camera like Apple does. With we're not taking photos or videos like Apple does, and it's not free. It's not open source.
It takes a full year to make an MVP.
What? Sorry?
It takes 1 whole year to make an MVP.
No. The MVP is already, it's almost finished. I want to do the POC, the pilot with
you want to
German
validate
or
that.
British company. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
that's why you're raising money.
Yes.
Thank you.
And how you measure the improvement of the employee experience?
So
I
actually,
tell you why I'm asking, because frankly, I'm working for the last, I don't know, 35, 40 years. And when I need to take a pause, I'm just taking the pause without any camera tell me to doing so. So maybe I'm old-fashioned.
And so this is a big problem. Not all of the people know to do that. And this technology is already exists in the vehicle field, in Tesla. And I'm the first one who want to take it to the work and wellness field.
So maybe you should focus on things which is in the area of I don't know, hospital, things like that, because for, I'd say, bureaucracy work, like, even programming, I'm not sure that I as an employee like to have such a thing. I don't need a big brother to tell me where to stop. I have some other constraints. Maybe I have to leave early. Maybe I have something to do in the evening. I don't know. But if you take it to the area of dangerous arena, like car, you said in car, I know it. I have a car would tell me where to stop in the side. I'm not stopping, but it tells me to do so. And things like that. Maybe pilots, maybe surgeries, things like that. But generally speaking, it looks like the big brother application for me.
Okay.
Last question, judges, before we move to the scoring and finding out who won.
I can say something else in addition, please.
Yeah.
I did a survey among programmers, and I talked with a lot of managers of companies, and everyone that I spoke to says he's believed this project and was impressed from the idea, and says he was happy to have it. So I think it has a lot of potential.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Shiran from AJT, and I'll use the opportunity to also thank Galit. I saw you somewhere from AJT for your mentorship and bringing those wonderful groups from AJT this year.
Thank you, Anat. I'm at the airport, so.
Oh,
okay.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
have a good flight. Now the judges will take a minute to rank, to score PAUS, group number 8. And after that, we've sent you a link to judges' deliberation room on a separate Zoom. You had to log out from this webinar, move to the next one, and once you're done, come back here to announce the winner. For those of you, for all the groups, just a sec, I need to see you. I don't see you, I just see myself. Oh, you can turn on your cameras now if you like. And Darty, you can move to the next room now. And so is you, Ilan.
I will, thank you.
Ilan, you need to open the room because you are the host. It's your room.
Okay.
So you have to log out of this. You have to leave this webinar and move to your Zoom room. Good. Now, two things. One, if you look at the chat, there is audience feedback. So of course you can go in and give a great feedback on yourself, but then you'll know that it's you. If you'd like to give feedback to your the other groups, please do so. I think that feedback from peer-to-peer makes a difference, and maybe you can give them feedback that even the judges didn't notice or didn't think about. So I think that each of you will appreciate some feedback from the other groups. I will have to log to the other judges to make sure that they are doing rightly. I'd like to share with you a short movie about TiE and what is this organization that organized this competition. We'll welcome you to join us as members in TiE. And now that you're students and later when you are entrepreneurs, because I think that you got the virus, it will be difficult to get rid of. So I'm sure that, let's say 50% of you will want to continue and be an entrepreneur. So I'm sharing with you a short clip about TiE. I will go to the other room, stay here, because if we were announcing the winner and the team leader is not here, we'll pass it to the next in line. So you have to stay. That's the incentive for you to stay. Can you see the clip?
Yes.
The year was 1992. Most people carried pagers and few privileged ones had email, and that was in Silicon Valley. On November 14th, 20 successful Indo-American executives were waiting to meet Mr. N. Vital, Secretary of Electronics, to talk about liberalization in India, but his flight was delayed.
We had to find a way to keep everyone engaged over lunch, so we chose to share our life stories.
At that time, we had no organized way for Indo-Americans to network. So when I proposed getting together,
guys, why don't we do this on a regular basis, once a month? And everybody wholeheartedly agreed.
So a group of us got together on December 22nd, 1992 at the San Jose Hilton to form an entrepreneurs club. This was the genesis of TiE.
By March 1993, a group of 7 individuals created an organization to facilitate networking. This team of 7 became the founding team of the Indus Entrepreneurs.
We called it Indus to be inclusive of all of the Indian subcontinent. We made US uppercase since we all live here in the United States. And when Ray Radula shortened the name to TiE, everybody just loved it.
Roy Prasad came up with a logo which he thought was sloppy. We can't believe this logo lasted 25 years.
The team arranged monthly networking meetings that featured prominent speakers. By mid-1993, the third Tuesday of every month became TiE Dinner Day amongst a fast-growing circle of entrepreneurs.
AJ Patel led the efforts, and for 2 years, he ran TiE as a DBA under his name. AJ also shared the facilities and resources of his company for TiE operations.
In August 1993, the founding team invited Suhas Patel to join the team and elected him as the first president of TiE.
The energy of the team and the idea of giving back really got me excited.
Then in March 1994, TiE held a 2-day entrepreneurs workshop at the San Jose Fairmont. It was a bold move with no certainty as to whether such an event would be successful.
We planned for 300 people and over 500 showed up. Many volunteers made this possible. Praveen Gupta renamed the conference to TiECon, a name that still lives on.
Volunteers are the backbone of TiE, and these volunteers become part of TiE family.
In August 1994, 27 people signed on as the founding charter members of TiE.
Charter members are successful entrepreneurs committed to mentoring the next generation of aspiring entrepreneurs. Kanwal Rekhi is one of the most visible and influential charter members.
In September 1994, TiE was formally incorporated as a not-for-profit organization. Fast forward to 1996, and Kanwal Reki became the second president of TiE.
We at TiE believe that wealth creation through entrepreneurship is a noble activity. This is the message we want to deliver to the whole world.
Our vision was always to make TiE a global organization. That vision started taking shape in 1997 when TiE started expanding beyond Silicon Valley to Southern California and Boston.
Being entrepreneurial is one of the most fulfilling ways to lead a life. And the most successful and a powerful platform to promote entrepreneurship is TiE.
By 1998, TiE had decided to engage with policymakers in India. We held a seminar in New Delhi that led to the formation of 3 chapters in India.
We helped in the setup and growth of the TiE chapters in India, and also deeply engaged with government, helping enable policies that have successfully created an extremely vibrant, successful entrepreneurial ecosystem today.
Based on a model outlined by the late C.K. Prahlad in the House of TiE, TiE Global was created in 2000.
TiE Silicon Valley became a bridge to success for entrepreneurs worldwide. We also organized the first ever TiE Global Summit in Delhi.
In 25 years, TiE has inspired entrepreneurs to create hundreds of startups that led to thousands of new jobs and estimated to have created 200 billion in new wealth.
Going forward, we need to establish the brand TiE with the youth, starting from schools to colleges to startups, with a special emphasis on women entrepreneurship. With our established program like TiE, we want to make TiE University and TiE Women even stronger. The TiE Angels program in the US and now in India has already made TiE the go-to organization for startups. We also want to expand our work with governments across the world to make policy more conducive for cross-border investments.
Much has changed since 1992, but from pagers to smartphones, TiE's mission has stood the test of time. TiE continues to march as a vibrant, forward-looking entity that strives to add value to entrepreneurs worldwide.
אני בטוחה שממש התרשמתם. ואני רוצה רק לספר לכם עוד חבר אחד, מה הוא אומר על הארגון שלנו. ואני רק אגלה לכם שאצל השופטים מעניין מאוד בחדר, אבל אני לא אגלה לכם יותר מזה.
It's an honor to receive this prestigious award from TiE. I'm sorry I can't be with you and my fellow recipients there to accept it, but I want to share a few thoughts about why your work is so important. I've always believed that innovation is the key to solving the world's toughest challenges, whether it's stopping a pandemic, avoiding a climate disaster, or just raising human productivity. But as Paul Allen and I experienced with Microsoft, innovators can't make it on their own. They need partners, supporters to help them make sure their best ideas make it from the lab to the marketplace. For more than 27 years, TiE has been doing just that. You support great entrepreneurs around the world and in some of the most important fields in technology today. Your work is essential to fostering innovation and creating the better world we all want. Thank you again, and I hope you have a successful summit.
Okay, I suggest all you can take a 2 minutes break and come in 2 minutes. because the judges are deliberating between three companies that each of them is really good. So cross your fingers for yourself. And we'll be back in 2-3 minutes. I'll try to make them hurry, but stay logged to the Zoom. I forgot to announce, so I'll announce again and be surprised again that the winner for TiE University competition for 2022 TiE Global in Israel is the group from Holon Institute of Technology, ArBC, with the team leader Shachar Vitonsky. Congratulations. Now you can cheer, clap, whatever you want.
Shachar!
Efrat will be in touch with the winning groups as to what's next and what's available to you, what kind of goodies you will get from the competition, and give you more details. I really thank you for joining us today. And Gordon is not here again. Thank you, Ilan. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Srijit. Thank you, Darty. And of course, to you, Efrat. Quiet, but managed it perfectly. Do join us to TiE, and good luck in your ventures. Continue being an entrepreneur, successful. And again, thank you, Galit. Thank you, Ofer. And thanks to all the universities' innovation and entrepreneurship programs that really sent those wonderful groups to us. Shalom, toda, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.